This conference will now be recorded.
Hadoop, and when we are doing this completely all the tables are one table. In that table maybe specific columns and incremental approach how it is going to work. That's what I have discussed, and I'm in the last topic of like what job flow. No, I just shown like what how to create a job and how to verify the information. The commands I have discussed, we are not executed much, but the intention is like what how the job support, like what we have seen now. Okay, so till this, any questions? Anyone have it? No, let me know.
So one question. So when we are importing the tables, actually more than one, we can do that without that exclude, because if we have multiple tables more than 10, we need to write all the names of the table.
Okay, if there is no question, let's continue from here. So here I want to showcase it like what how exactly import export both operations will work. Till now we have seen like what import. Now import and export both the command how it looks like. Let me go with one use case. So I'm just connecting to my database. It's already done. And under the Kalyan database, we have a table called departments. So I'm going like what creating a duplicate of this department table into your two things. One is departments 1, departments 2. Difference between this department 1 and department 2 is like what department 1 is it's as same as like what departments, it's a data and as well as schema. When it comes to departments to only schema, data won't be copied because I just went with like what like operator to create a table. Now here select operation to create a table as well as inserting the data. Let me execute these two commands. Now you can look at like what 6 rows, 6 records are updated here. Here it is a 0 records. Let me do select star. Departments, we have 6 record. Department 1 also 6 records. Department 2 is empty. So I have a requirement like this. So I just created my tables now. Now what I'm going to do is with the help of the import, like what I'll be going to import the data from departments 1 into SDFS. I'm going to do department 1 into SDFS. Then after that, once this import is completed from SDFS, I'm going to export it to departments 2. So department 1 having a data that I am importing 6 records to SDFS. Whatever the 6 records we have it now, I am exporting back to RDBMS. So this is what we are doing right now. Department 2 is empty. You can able to clearly observe department 2 is empty. Department 1 having a data. So instead of directly doing this through SQOOP, like what import operation, export operation, how to do, we are just going to be observing. Let's see the command. I'll execute it. 1 second. I'll execute it and wait for some time. Then after that, I'll take anything because execution, it will take 1 or 2 minutes. I don't want to waste that time. Meanwhile, I'll take the questions. Let me execute it first. 1 second. First, let me execute the import. It will take some time. Yeah, tell me what is the question.
So that import command that we are using, it is for the one table or more than one table?
Which
Just
command?
for the one. No, import just yeah. If you want to import the more than one table, we just need to write that exclude
Import all tables is the tool name you have to provide. If you use only that one, then all the tables in the database will be going to be. Maybe if you want to exclude some of them like what, you can use exclude. That's not a mandatory. Exclude is an optional one. Yeah. Right. So let's see the requirement here. Scoop import and export is like what? Scoop export. So import I want to do it from Kalyan database. Export also I want to do it to Kalyan database. So which table I'm doing the import is like what departments one, which table I'm exporting the departments to. That's what I mentioned now. So the syntax of import export almost looks same now. Small terminology change will be there. In import we call it as a target directory where you want to write the data. In export like what we call it as an export directory where we want to export the data. So right now what is my requirement is department one I'm importing into in this location. So once it is completed, you can see 6 records are done. Then I will go for this export command. So this export command will read these 6 records in HDFS, will write into again the database like what department store. That's the intention, no? But syntax of these two, look at now. Target directory here, and in export we call it as a export directory. And you already know the importance of the target directory. If your HDFS already data is there, you want to delete it, you can go for like what delete target directory. And field separator is you want to specify any specific delimiter, you can lines is as usual stored as text file option. No, all these are as well. The main difference you will see like what these two will be there in export also, but we call it as a input fields terminated by. Instead of saying a fields terminated by in export, input fields terminated by, input lines terminated by. Target directory, export directory. So these are the primary changes from like what import to export. Can you look at the syntax and let me know if any difficulty in this? Okay, so now let me verify it. Is my export is going on? So once the export is completed, you can able to see the data in this table. Right now, okay, it's done. You can see exported 6 records. Now departments 2 having like what? This 6 records. So you can import the data and export the data also. So whenever we are importing the data and exporting the data, there are certain conditions are there. Let me make a note on that point now. So whenever we are importing the data, the first thing is sources table. Importing is like what? Source should be a table. The table must and should exist. And target directory should not exist. If it is exist, you know the reason like what MapReduce program is going to fail now. Okay. So the main condition is for import is like what? So your table must and should exist and target directory should not exist now. And when it come to export, destination table. What are the destination table we are talking about? That must and should exist. And export directory must and should exist. And the main condition here is data and schema both should match. Otherwise, it will fail. This is a very important one. Data and a schema. So the data from where exactly? From the export directory, and the schema from the destination table. So if both are like what not matching, then it is not going to work. So that condition is not required in the import now, because import what it is doing it now from the table data only it is importing now. When it is importing, the directory should not exist. That's the only condition. Remaining else is like what not required. But exporting is like what, whatever the data you are exporting the file, it should match with the table. Otherwise like what, it is a problem now. Okay, so like example is primary key constraint is there, you have a duplicate records here now. So then obviously like what, primary key is there means like what, duplicate records are not allowed. Not null condition is there, you have a null values are there. Varchar condition is there now, maybe it is a different other data type it is coming now. So you have to be think about like what, both schema and data in export operation. In export operation, when you're doing export operation, you have to import, no need to worry about much now, only export you need to go ahead now. So these are the preconditions for like what, import and export whenever we are doing it now. Any question?
Kalyan, while import, we don't need to mention that schema, right? But still, we are
No,
specifying that fields.
we'll talk about table, correct? In import,
Yeah.
so table is whatever the fields are there, we are going to import it. Schema is not mandatory there, correct?
Yes, it's mandatory.
So
It's not mandatory. Yeah, but in that code, we are mentioning that fields terminated by something, comma, something. We are
that is
mentioning there.
delimiters, it's an optional point, which how you
Oh,
want
oh,
to delimit it. That's not a
okay. Okay.
mandatory.
So by default, it
Want
will take
to,
from the schema. If not, then we have to explicitly mention to which
yes,
format you want to store it. Okay.
yes, yes.
In the
Okay.
imports are just we are storing the data in the Hadoop. That's why schema is not important, right, sir?
Yes, it's a file format. It's a
Yes.
file format.
So
That's the reason it's not.
when it comes to vice versa, from Hadoop to the database, so if it is a table, that's why it is mandatory.
Yes, table having a certain conditions, correct? Primary key condition can be there, not null condition will be there. Those things
Yes.
will be there. So that is a place like what? If not, generally, you can think about you have constraints you are trying to inserting means it won't work, correct? Those should
Yes.
be followed. Otherwise, it will fail.
Okay. Thank you.
All are good. So now this is what import export. Now not only scope supports like what RDBMS to Hadoop RDBMS, it can also support with the Hive and HBase. But the problem is like what, scope is an older version. They said like what 1.4.7 is the last version, and they stopped building it now. And but Hive, Hadoop, everything is like what updated versions are now. So that's the reason like what, the commands whatever we have it in our environment like what may not be going to work. But if you have it like what, Cloudera distribution, Hotmail distribution, these distributions like what, they take care of it like what, doing some kind of building the scope for the compatibility. Right now we are not done that one now. Okay, but I'll show you the approach how it is going to work for Hive and HBase also. The command may not work for us, but the command aspect wise, how to write the command, that's what at least we will be going to see now. If we are integrating scope with a Hive now, okay, So what is the primary things are required, like what? First thing is version compatibility. The version is properly comparable now. So Hive site XML file, we have it in the Hive conf folder. This we need to copy to SQOOP conf folder. That is the first primary thing when we are integrating SQOOP with the Hive now. So then after that, so Hive need some connector. That is what metastore.db. Okay, that connector jar file also need to copy from Hive lib to SQOOP lib folder now. So right now we are using the both the scenarios. Hive and SQOOP is like what MySQL only. It is already copied. If not, we have to copy. These two things we need to take care of it. And if you start your Hadoop, it automatically going to work. Whenever you are going with the SQOOP with HBase also, when you are going to SQOOP with HBase also, HBase having a HBase and XML file will be there. That is there in the HBase conf folder. That we need to copy to like what? SQOOP home conf folder. So whichever the third party systems are there, those configuration need to be copied in the SQOOP conf folder now. Otherwise, it is not going to work now. Right now, we just need to take care of this. Once you are done with this, how exactly is SQOOP with the Hive is going to work is extra. You will observe like what? Hive import. In previous comments like what? You don't see Hive import. You have to mention like what? If we are going through Hive. If we are going through Hive like what? You need to mention the Hive import. Okay. So what is this Hive import is like what? It will allow you to import the data instead of directly into HDFS. It will through Hive. Through Hive it will go. When it is going through Hive like what? You have two choices are there. One is create Hive table. Second one is Hive override. There are two choices are there now. Whenever we go with the Hive import now, two choices. One is create Hive table. Second one is Hive override. What is create Hive table like what? So if the table is there, if you mention create Hive table means this command is going to fail. Okay. The intention of create Hive table like what? If the table is not there, it will try to create it. If the table is there, it will fail. That's the purpose of like what? Create Hive table. What is Hive override concept is like what? If the table is there, if the table is there, still it is going to override. It's not going to fail. So depends on our need like what, which option you want to go ahead now. We can go ahead here now. So Hive override and create Hive table. And after that, warehouse directory is a known concept. Compression can use anywhere. In wherever you are importing the data, you want to use the compression means you can use it. It's not mandatory for Hive specific only. You can use it now. So this command, what it is going to doing like what? Importing all the tables in the SQOOP database to Hive database. And when it is importing, where exactly it will import like what? Under the default database. In Hive, under the default database, it will go now. Right now, we don't have a control in this command to specify the which database you want to import it now. But if you go with the this type of commands, you can mention that. So how exactly we are going to mention like what? So I just separated like what those two use cases here now. Hive import with Hive override, Hive import with create table now. Okay. Whenever we are going with the only import, we have another option called Hive table. You can mention here is like what? Directly like that, or else you can mention like this. If you mention like this will go to Kalyan database. If you don't mention this, it will go to default database. So whichever the database name you want to mention like what, you can mention upfront with the table name. And suppose if you don't even write this, what will happen like what? It will create a table called orders. Right now I want to change it to my orders. If I want to change it like what, then if you don't write this, it will go as a default database. Table name is like what? Orders. Is that everyone is clear the intention now? So this is an optional parameter. It's not a mandatory, but if you provide that, that table name is going to come. If you provide a database name, table name is in that database, that table is going to be created. That's the intention behind like what commands. The only difference is like what this is fresh table will be created. This will be like what overriding the existing one also will go. Depends on your need. You can go with this. Any question? Okay. So similar to this, we also have a command for HBase now. Whenever we are integrating scoop with HBase, as I mentioned, like what HBase.xml file we need to copy. And command wise, like what scoop import. Here we will mention like what HBase create table now. So what is exactly this HBase create table will be going to be like what? Again, you are mentioning the table name. This is also optional. If you want to remove this, you can remove it. Whatever the table name is there, same table name will come under HBase. If you mention here now, this table name is going to come. And we need to mention in the HBase table like what is a column family and what is a row key. Row key is the primary key, and your database table, what are the table having a primary key, that primary key is mapped with this one, and a column family is required now, because without column family it's not possible to insert the data in HBase. So we need to mention like what is the column family, then what are the columns are there now. Every columns will be like what automatically mapped as a qualifiers here, like this. So that is HBase, that scoop will take care of it. Now, the only thing is like what you need to mention what is your column family in HBase and what is the row key. What is a row key? Row key is as equivalent to primary key in your table. Okay. If you mention these details like what automatically work, but only problem is like what compatibility issue. It doesn't work with like what all the versions now. So we have to make sure that like what downgrade the HBase version to make it work now, because the scoop 1.4.7 release time, at that time we have HBase 0.x version. 1.x version is not there. 1.x version is not compatible. So to make it compatible like what, we need to separately build that one. So that's the reason I'm not executing this in our environment. It is not going to work because I was not built separately. I have taken existing scope version only. But in real time, like what the third party paid solutions, we are going to use it now there. So they will be going to build it for us and going to give it now. Just to run this command is enough now. If you understand this command, it's sufficient. No need to play right now here now. Okay. Any questions, anyone, before I go with the one important topic in the scope? Okay. This is the important use case in scope which you have to remember now. What I'm doing here is like what I'm creating a one table called sample under the Kalyan database. Then after that, I'm inserting few records. Let me do only till here first. I'm just going to do step by step. Please look at. I just created a table, nothing more than that. Let me do select star. We don't have any data. So now if we are going with this scenario, how scoop is going to work, incremental approach. In real time, how people are going to do like what? They will automate the scope jobs now, every day to run or every 1 hour to run or every month to run, like what scoop jobs they automate now. How they are going to do, that's what I'm showcasing right. So if it is keep on updating the data in this table, how scoop will understand is the changes are happened or not. Okay, let's see. So first thing is like what, we need to create a job. Whenever you are creating a job, the main problem in this job command right now is this particular line. If you provide a password like this, it is not secure. That's the reason like what, whenever you create a scoop job like what, this password is not going to take, it will forcefully ask you the password. So how we have to write this job command is like what, same but not like this. Okay, instead of that you need to write like this. The only change from above command to below command like what, just instead of saying password equal to password file, I'm going with the password file. Inside this password file, the password supposed to be there. So how are you going to create a password file like this? Let me keep the actual password and here also, 1 second. So I have to create the password file first. I'm just sorry. I'm just creating this password file first. Generally, in real time, it should be in HDFS. Right now, I'm just going with the local file system. Nothing wrong now. And don't create the file manually. If you create a file, what is happen like what? After this password, one extra character will be going to add. That is a new line character. So to avoid that, you have to use this command like what with -n option. So I'll show you. If you see, you won't see new line character. Okay, the password file is very important when you're creating it like what. Be careful. There should not be any extra characters apart from the password now. Okay. So now once it is created that password file, then create a job. I'm just creating the job. So once the job is created, so we want to execute this job like what. We can execute it right now. How exactly the job is created also, let's look at once. I'm asking to job to like what, read the data from sample table from Kalyan database, and also like what, I'm going with the incremental approach with append operation. If you see append operation, keep on, I'm going to append the data. I don't want to lose my history. Okay. And also incremental approach. What is incremental approach like what? In which column we have to look for? Right now I'm saying look for ID column. What is the last value? I'm asking to look at like what, 0 with incremental is like what, append. So right now what this command will do like what, it will do select star from table where ID greater than 0. It will write a query, select star from table, select star from the table. What are the table we have it now? Where ID greater than 0. When you write this ID greater than 0, we don't have any data. Okay. Same thing will be like what it is going to fire right now. Here it will get it. So how I'm going to do that one is with the help of exit command. I'll run this exit command. Now my job is going to execute. Whenever it is executing like what, the query will be written like this. Right now there is no data. The output also not going to come. Okay. I will insert the data. Again, same exit command only we do. Then next 3 records, whatever you insert, it is going to come. Again, you insert next 3 records now. Command is same. But SQOOP having an intelligent mechanism like what, whenever you insert the data, it will maintain the last value. That's what last value we have taken. Last value we mentioned as a 0. From 0 onwards, it is going to. Whenever you run this job like what, it will update the last value. It is a completely incremental approach. Data whatever we are doing it like what, if there is an incremental sequence is there, not like what the number can be like this. Okay, it should be incremental only. 1 2 3 4 5 like this. If it is a timestamp, or it might be an integer number, it is applicable for only like what, two data types now. One is for timestamp, other one is for like what, integer now. So only these two things only we can use this incremental approach now. So in real time, like what, generally created time will be there, people will go with that created time, or else like what, id sequence will be, incremental approach will be there now. Okay, can you please look at here now? Retrieved records are 0. So there is no data inserted now, only 0 records are taken now. Suppose let's insert few records. I'm inserting these 3 records. So there is no change in the code. Okay. So now again the same query, it will run like this. When you run this job, so this time it is going to retrieve the 3 records now. Whatever the command it is applied here now, based on this command, it will be going to. And what is the last value here is like what, 3. Next time the command will be going to come like this. Okay, there is no record means it won't execute. So I'll show you once the first operation is completed. Takes little time, the execution, we have to wait. Okay, so now look at here, retrieved 3 records. And can you also read this message? Updated the job for the my job. Whatever the my job is there, we have created now. With this information, it is updated. What is the advantage of this one? Now let's see. I'm not inserting any new records. If I execute once again, okay, can you see this record? There is no new records are detected since last import. That's the beauty now. Okay, now if you insert few more records, let me insert these 6 records. So now the command will be this one. This is the command now. Okay, now all these 6 records are going to be imported. So why exactly we are going with the job approach is like what? The main reason is this command we automate it now. Through shell script, through Uzi, we automate this. It automatically take care of it like what, running the things now. We no need to write the every time like what, greater than 3, less than 9, all these things. It's automatically take care. This is what incremental approach now. So periodical manner like what, you trigger through a job through Uzi or any other third party system now, then automatically like what, it will be going to give you the results value. That's the intention behind like what, incremental job. People mostly the scoop they are asking it like what, they ask this incremental approach command now. How incremental approach is going to work, they will ask you. So this is what you need to take care of it, and you have to explain them. Any questions? Anyone have it? Now you can see retrieved 6 records, updated the job. So that's what I want to showcase to everyone now. Any questions? Anyone have it?
Hi, sir. I have one general question. The scope is retained, right, sir? So still we are using
Yes.
in the companies for the scope.
Logically, no. Maybe there might be some companies, they already have a existing solution. Okay, so that is the only reason. Otherwise, right now, SQOOP not required. So I already
Okay.
started the same point initially also, correct? It's not required. Spark is enough to proceed now. Okay, if suppose someone using it, then the question might come like this. Otherwise, no.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So till this is the mainly what we want to understand from the scope now. Just taken care, and continuation to this, I need to talk about the Uzi is the next concept now. So Uzi point of installation, we need to take care of it now. So today I'll just show you how to install the Uzi, and in next session like what we will be going to play on that. Before I continue, any general questions if you have it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll show you how to install the Uzi. I might need at least half an hour for that. I'll be going to do that. It's the biggest installation in our courses like what only Uzi only. Okay. Let me stop all these things. So in admin material, I have the Uzi, and here in the Uzi installation will be there. So the complete installation, if you want to do it by Uzi by one, at least it will take like what 5-6 hours now. So some of the part of the Uzi installation, I have pre-done that and given to you. That is the reason like what we can finish it in a half an hour. What is exactly main difference between Uzi installation to till now whatever we did? Like what till now whatever we did, so those are already pre-builded by the Apache people. Hadoop is pre-builded, Hive is pre-builded, everything is pre-builded. Coming to Uzi, it's not like that. The software is not pre-builded. They are just going to give you the only source code. If you look at in this folder, this is the file, 2.8 MB file. It just contain the build script only. So they will give you the this build file. What is our responsibility? First, we need to build it. Till this part is like what building procedure. We no need to do it right now. I already done. This will take like what minimum you should have a good environment and also good network and everything is there. Generally, this operation will take like what more than 3-4 hours now. Okay. Once that is completed, you will be having a file called this one, Uzi distro file. That file I already given to you. If this file is there, you can able to continue to build this file only. We have this build scripts now. This is not required for you. I'm just clearly saying like what this is already taken care right now in our environment and just given this file now. You can use this file to continue. So this file you can treat as a like what the downloaded file now. Then after that like what are the procedure we follow? Same thing. Copy the file. It's taking some time. Once copy is completed, I'll extract it. Okay, so once the extraction is completed, let me clean up my files. Space issue. Okay, so once this extraction is completed, then go to bash rc file, update the OZ home. And close the terminal, open it, verify with echo just for confirmation. Then after that, so we have few steps are there, like what, just as it is in the same order, you just follow now. So for Uzi, we need to add some third-party libraries now. Uzi alone, we cannot use it now. Okay, so to use the Uzi with like what, some extra libraries, we need to create a one folder called libext, lib extra libraries now. Under this, like what, we need to copy this ext 2.2 zip file. I have documented clearly here now. Create a under the OZ home libxt, copy this file now. So once we copy this file, we also need to take care of course XML file. Already we did this point in the Hadoop installation time only. I'm not going to do it again separately. We already done this one. So then after that, like what, once we did this change, we need to stop and start the Hadoop because this is a major change now. Whenever we did this change in Corset, we have to stop and start. Already we did this long back now, no need to stop my Hadoop now. It's okay to continue that. Then Uzi site XML file, we need to update this properties now. These are the properties which we need to update under the Uzi site XML file, which is there in the Uzi conf folder. You just go to end of the file. Before this one, just paste it. So what are these exactly we are defining is like what, where is our Hadoop home? So I need to check the path once. 3.2.4. I have to update that. 3.2.4 ATC Hadoop. Make sure that you provide the right path because version numbers keep on we are changing. It means it will be a problem now. Okay. So then after that, like what, these are mainly conditionally we are doing now. This is like what, defining like what we are in IST, and this one is like what, if you want to run your UG jobs less than 5 minutes, you have to make sure that this property is false. Otherwise you cannot run your job in less than 5 minutes, because waiting for more than 5 minutes, like what time taken. So maybe two minutes I want to verify my job, like what, you have to make this is real time, it is not required for our practice purpose only. And this is like what, for bundled as a Uber jar, like what, we need to do this one. Some system ID should contains like what, 10 characters, maximum 10 characters. Some string is required, anything we can write here now, doesn't matter. Something are written like what, Uzi. So once you have this information in Uzi set XML file, the next thing is like what, you need to start the Uzi. There are 4 options are there. The recommended one is the first one now. You can go with any one of them, but recommended is the first one. So what is the difference between these two and these two is like what, this is the older, new, like that. And also like what, one is in a foreground, other one in a background. This is in a background, this is in a foreground. What is foreground is like what, if you close the terminal, the process is going to stop. What is the background is like what, if you close the terminal also, process is not going to kill you. Make sure that use the start command, not the run command now. Either this or this, up to you, but use the only one of the command now. And before that, your Hadoop is running or not, make sure that verify it, running it. And also you need to run the job history server also. This is mandatory condition. Remember, whenever you're running a OZ, you need to run, there is a process called job history server. Job history server. Then after that, you start the OZ. It will create some data. Once it is completed, we can use it. Okay. So OJPS, you can see embedded OG server. So my OG is right now running it now. So much is done. Let's wait. Okay. Once the OG is started, we are done 50%. So what is the remaining 50% of the flow is like what? We can verify the OG is running through command or through browser now. Okay. So this is the command. If you execute this command, if it is showing the status as normal. Oh, it is failed. It's not showing it now. It's failed because I could say it's not running here. Let's stop. Okay. Some issue is there. It is failing. What is the issue? Which issue? What can remove it might help it. Something is there in the class. I have something extra in the class path. It's creating a problem. ODB is one thing, might create a problem. And also Spark also create a problem. Which one is creating a problem? Okay, from where it is coming. One, two, seven. Okay, 220. It's expecting 127. 127 is there, no? Okay, 127 is there, but still it is failing. Oh, such method. Hmm, this is there, but it is failing. What could be the reason where it is picking? Where also it is there. It's a problem. Okay, I'll come back. There's something, some jar issue. Let's say otherwise. But the intention is like what, when the things are properly there, if you execute the status command, it will be going to show you normal. Right now it is not showing because of like what, the server is down. So if the server is down, like what, OG server is automatically down due to some jar file, log4j issue, some jar file issue wise, it is failing exactly. I'll take a look at that one, the reason behind, and I'll give you the fix for you. But once that is done, the next few more steps, what we generally do it like what, we need to extract the two zip files, will be two tar files will be there, OG examples and OG sharelib. Let me extract it. This and this, we need to extract it now. Let me extract one after other. Okay, once this is extracted, what are the folders we see, like what, one is examples. This is what, like what, examples which help us to learn the OZ. Then next one is like what, share. Under the share there's a lib folder, no? So these are the third party integration with OZ, which maybe you want to work with the pig or spark or scoop or hcatalog, whatever it may be. This library folder is required now. We need to place this library folder into hdfs using the put command. We have to do that one now. So now if what I'm doing it like what, I'll use the put command to place the data. This is an independent task. I'm doing it right now. If my OZ is running or not a problem. Take some time. I'm executing these two commands now. It takes some time now because this is a large data. It takes some time to place it now. Once these two operations are completed, finally we have to execute like what these two commands. Right now these two commands won't work because without fixing that. So till here is like what mainly installation of the OC part now. Once this copy is completed, and this update command need to be done. Once the update command is completed, then if you say list like what it will, but right now these two are won't work without fixing the my OC installation issue. So in this version, like what some issue is there, I need to take a look. Some jar file compatibility issue. These are the issues like what if you go back Cloudera, they take care of it now. So it's a free solution. We have to put a research and we need to find the solution. Because in a low environment, you want to work all these things like what this is the only thing. If I go with the Cloudera, I need to have a 32 GB RAM system now. So this approach like what 4 GB also we are able to continue. That's the only difference like what why the struggle is there for why it's not working. All these are like what some background effort is required to fix it. I need to identify the reason. I'll give it now. But till here is like what you can also follow in your system, and I'll give you the solution for that one, how to make it work. This example is done. Okay. Is everyone is clear till this point now, apart from the issue, whatever we discussed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just try it now. So except whatever I mentioned, like what, except these points till 18, just try it now. Okay, this will be not going to work for you. This is not going to work because it is not properly started, and I will find out the reason what is exactly problem. So one of the version of the or Hadoop or Hive or something is like what it is creating a problem. So by doing small changes in Bazaars other places, I can able to fix that, but I need some time for that. It's not that straightforward. If you people are able to find out, let me know it also. It's good to continue from there now. Okay. Yeah. So one more thing is like what tomorrow I'm not taking the session, so I'm traveling exactly. Okay. So we'll be continue on the again Friday. So tomorrow we don't have it. No, Friday I'll continue. So you have enough time to play on this one. You can do it. Okay. Everyone is
Okay,
clear?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Thanks.